the college football experience, week 4 DFS picks for Friday and sleeper plays episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet and get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Yes, from now until Tuesday, get 20% off when you use the promo code NFC Beast. So get in there, SGPN merch store, and do yourself a favor and let it ride.
This is Randy Cross. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience DFS show and sleeper plays episode. Yeah, it's a DFS show for Friday. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, yes. Earlier in the week, we gave you Thursday and Saturday. Go listen to that DFS show. But this is for Friday night because thankfully some of these college football bozos are listening to us, giving us 3 games on Friday. I'd still want 4 or 5, sprinkling 2 FCS games. I'd appreciate that, but 3 is better than 2.
We'll take it.
Yeah. So I'm joined by the DFS god himself. He just dropped a brand new DFS article over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Get the SGPN app for free in the App Store, Google Play Store. You'll have easy access to that. The DFS god himself. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, home brew making, Tobacco Road living, the free lock giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for Etsy Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on, man?
I mean, what a great start to the college football season. I'm super excited. Now I just need to focus on getting better on the DFS side of it because I feel like I've been lagging a little bit. I know though what. Hey, before we even get to the DFS part, how about we congratulate ourselves because Kansas Jayhawks over 2.5 wins. My number 1 lock of the college football season cashed. NC Nick locked up Vanderbilt over 2.5 wins. We're still in September. Cashed. All right. We are doing a damn good job here between Kansas and Vanderbilt. How do you feel, buddy?
I love it, man. I love it when you can cash a season total bet 4 weeks into the season. Some people laughed at you when you said Kansas. Some people laughed at me when I said Vandy. I said, look, Vandy has a chance to win their 3 out of conference games. Or I'm sorry, 3 out of the 4. Yeah. What did they do? They whipped Hawaii, who was god awful. They kind of snuck by Elon, and they got a little fortunate on the road last week against Northern Illinois.
Yeah, a win is a win, but getting Rocky Lombardi out of the game
definitely helped.
Because when I was watching that, it was 28-21 Northern Illinois without Lombardi. At that point, like Northern Illinois had scored with their backup quarterback, and I'm sitting there saying, "Ooh," but Vandy scored 17 unanswered.
Came through for me.
Gets the dub.
I don't know if Vandy's very good. Actually, I'm pretty sure they aren't. And I also mentioned that I think Vandy had a chance to win at least one SEC game this year. Well, I'm not sure about that. Now, the next 3 games are including this week at Alabama, Ole Miss at home, at Georgia. Ain't going to win any of those, but at Missouri and then home to South Carolina, Florida at home, maybe, but I might be wrong about that. They still might go winless in the SEC, but ultimately it doesn't matter because they went 3-1 out of conference and they cleared that 2.5 win total bar. So cash it, buddy.
There you go. Cash it. And look, regarding this weekend, there is some news. Well, first off, I couldn't help but laugh at the fact that the NCAA fined the University of LSU $5,000 for recruiting. $5,000. 1 year probation and $5,000 fine for recruiting violations committed by former LSU offensive line coach James Craig.
How much money did they give Coach O to leave?
Yeah, 17 mil, I think, right?
Yeah,
oh my God, $5,000. You basically just bought them a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? For the type of money they have. Fucking hilarious.
That's not even a slap on the wrist. That is like a touch of the pinky or something.
Yeah. I mean no, and this is the classic. It's the Tarkanian line. And I know we say it all the time on this show, but it is Kentucky basketball got caught cheating. That means the NCAA is going to put Cleveland State on probation for 4 years.
That's right.
It was dead accurate. You know, say what you want about Tarkanian. Go watch that documentary that HBO did. He was spot on. Well, he was spot on with the NCAA being a complete just contradiction, hypocrisy. Yeah. Anyway, other news we have Josh Downs, who's one of the best wide receivers in the country for the North Carolina Tar. Well, coming into the season, I shouldn't say this year because he has been dinged up a lot of this year. Coming into the season, he was charted as one of the best receivers in the country. He is going to play against the Irish this weekend.
All the more reason to potentially like Drake May as the UNC quarterback in your DFS lineups. I don't know about rolling the dice on Downs. I mean, when he plays, it is amazing. I think he's in like the 7.5 range. I don't have it up right now, but I might want to see if he's on like a pitch count or something, this opening week. But I think I'd pass on this week, but good for UNC to have him back. Definitely.
And why is Drake May apologizing? Come on, that's a funny statement. This is when we're in such a terrible time because like Drake May says a funny statement saying anyone that went to NC State, they only went to NC State because they couldn't get into Carolina. Funny statement.
Right.
Funny statement. Then he issues you a tweet, the remark I made about NC State. I want to sincerely apologize answering the questions about playing in state. I said something I shouldn't have. I said it as a joke and it was totally inappropriate. No, it's not inappropriate. It's fucking hilarious. It is appropriate because you're rivals.
Give it up to NC State linebacker Peyton Wilson, who said he shouldn't have to apologize for it. It's no big deal. But you know what? That type of thing can be a big deal in the locker room. I mean,
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What's the harm in that? Who does that harm?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Come on. Did he just tweet that himself, or do you think the coaches sat down with him, or the administration sat down with him?
Oh, I'm sure somebody said, "Hey, why don't you offer up an apology?" But I mean, it's just like UNC, those elitists trying to put themselves above everybody else.
That is a great statement. It made me want to watch the rivalry more. And it's like, don't issue the apology.
I did see Julius Hodge, the former NC State basketball player, come out and say he was offered a scholarship by UNC and Bill Guthridge at the time, I believe. He declined. He turned them down. And, a few days later signed with NC State. And then an article came out saying that Guthridge had pulled the scholarship opportunity. And he was like, no, that's not what happened. I declined them. They didn't decline me.
Yeah, that is hilarious there. Other news, it looks like Braxton Burmeister is good to go for San Diego State, although running back Chance Bell, it seems like he's not going to play. Also, Syracuse wide receiver Isaiah Jones, I think, is out for the season. After he got injured in the Purdue game. Also, this is actually pretty big news that tight end Luke Musgrave, who's one of the best tight ends in America for Oregon State, he is not going to play for the Beavers against USC.
They could use him this week.
Yeah. Also, running back Trey Lowe, but I mean that tight end's a beast. Also, Miami wide receiver Jacoby George broke his thumb in the Texas A&M game, so I think he's out.
Another Miami receiver out. Huh?
Jeez. Yeah. And I think I touched on this on the Wednesday pod, but starting running back Nate Carter, he is good. Like I know UConn, you watch UConn football. There's not many, bright spots, things to rave about. But Nate Carter is a good running back. He separated his shoulder and he's out for the NC State game and probably out for a few more after that. Tion Evans is back for Louisville, the running back.
He screwed us
back
2 weeks ago when we rostered him in DFS. There was no mention of an injury anywhere. Sure enough, about 2 minutes after kickoff, I see something on Twitter saying that he's in street clothes. I'm like, oh, great. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, he cost me. I feel like the rest of my roster did all right. Wide receiver D Wiggins also out for the season for Louisville. And Friday night's UVA game, Billy Kemp. It seems like he is not going to play. I don't think it's official yet, but the coach said he doesn't expect him to play.
Right.
Rocky Lombardi, the quarterback that we just touched base on, Northern Illinois, he's questionable for the Kentucky game. I don't know if you're going to have players on, listed as that, but what else? Jake Hayner, I think is going to be a scratch for this week. The good news is, if you're a Fresno State fan, that is, I think a lot of people thought it was broken. Not broken, just a really bad high ankle sprain, but that can still keep you out for a while.
Sure.
So that's some of the news that we got going there. Cedric Tillman, Tennessee wide receiver, is questionable. If you're going to play that game, and then EJ Smith, Stanford's running back, is out for the Washington game. And I should say Zach Calzada, who's the third string quarterback at Auburn, he is out for the rest of the season. TJ Finley also not available this week, so it will be the freshman. What is my guy's name? I'm drawing a blank on his name right now for Auburn. That will be getting the start. Jeez. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to help you here either. What was it?
I got it here. Hang on. I'm going to pull it up because I'm drawing a blank on the kid's name. At Robbie Ashford. Robbie Ashford.
Right. He was just in the column that you mentioned. I should have known it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got thousands of names in the old noggin here. All right. Well, let's hop into this, right? Should we start off? We're going to give away the DFS lineup for Friday. Friday night, like I said, we have Virginia heading up to the YMCA Dome in Syracuse, right? We also
over under of 54 points in that game.
I like it. Okay. Then we get the Nevada Wolfpack heading to Colorado Springs to take on Haaziq Daniels and the Air Force Falcons.
What's that over 46.5? And
then we have the Boise State Broncos heading to El Paso, Texas to take on UTEP.
Sorry, 45.5 over under. So a couple low score. Oh, actually all three, not very high totals here. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of mix you got. What first, man? Quarterbacks?
Sure, we can definitely do that. And know that also we're going to give away a sleeper lineup. Get the sleeper app, folks, because we're going to go through the props over under on player props. There's a lot of opportunity to make some good cash. Get that sleeper app. So let's start with our quarterbacks here. What did you do?
Let me jump in first because we shouldn't say quarterbacks plural because I only have one. Every once in a while, I like to throw out a lineup with just one quarterback and save a super flex for a running back or a receiver. You very, very rarely do this. It's not that I do it often, but I in this kind of with 3 games here, I mean, there's not that many great quarterbacks to choose from. So the main quarterback, my only quarterback, is the Shredder, Garrett Schrader, 7.8K. I think he's going to be very highly owned Friday night. You have him too, I take it.
I do. I mean, give me my music as the Foot Clan comes into form here. Let's go. Hey, this guy's a beast. Garrett Schrader, he gets it done on the ground, in the air. Former Mississippi State wide receiver. Look at Real Money Kramer giving me a coffee. That's why you want to come work at SGPN.
Hey, man, I can use a coffee over here too.
Anyway, Schrader gets it done both on all, with his legs. I mean, he rushed for over 80 yards against Purdue, and I think Purdue has a better defense. Surprisingly, I think Purdue has a better defense than Virginia.
He averages about 34 fantasy points a game. Yeah, and especially, I mean, his price isn't like crazy here. 7.8K. I think it's very affordable for him. So lock it up, man.
One of the best things about him this year is, and that's Robert and I, turnover-free football.
Yeah,
this guy hasn't thrown any picks yet this year,
right? Which is amazing because last year he was not a very accomplished passer. He's always had his legs to rely upon, but I've been very impressed with the lack of interceptions, the completion percentage. That ball he threw to Gadsden for the game winner last Saturday was impressive. He's just all around good football player, man. And UVA's defense, it leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah. So there's that. But I did roster a second quarterback. You know me, buddy. All right. I'm taking you to Colorado Springs. Do not fade my guy Haaziq Daniels when he's playing a soft ass defense. What did our incarnate word put up over 630 yards of offense against Nevada? Yeah. I get it. Air Force runs the triple option. The clock bleeds, but look back to last year when Nevada was actually good. You know what Air Force did in Reno? They put up 500 yards of offense. Woo. All right. And they had 476 rushing against the Nevada Wolfpack a season ago.
41 points. I wanted 42. Was it 42-40 or something like that?
41-39 was that. And Haaziq Daniels definitely had this guy's just a dynamic player. I get it. They give a lot of carries to Brad Roberts. But I think Daniels, I think he's one of the better, like, I know you could look at his option or his stats. I think last week he didn't throw for much, but he did. Their receivers get wide open. Triple option football. When you go play action, I think Haaziq Daniels is actually pretty accurate considering he's that they don't pass the ball that much. He's got 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions on the season. I look for them to just whoop up on Nevada. So I'm going to go Haaziq Daniels.
I flirted with the thought of Haaziq Daniels. If I would have rostered a second quarterback, it would have been him. And yeah, that game last year was a triple overtime game. So some of the stats and yardage were a bit inflated. He didn't do that much in that game. He just had 7 carries for 59 yards, 1 of 5 passing for 23 yards. But I do think you have to get at least a guy or two on Air Force. Ultimately, I passed on Haaziq Daniels, but you mentioned my top running back. That is, well, he's not my most expensive running back, but I did roster Brad Roberts. I'll throw him out now because you did mention him. And look, he's coming off. You got him too?
Yeah, of course, man. I want this ground attack, man.
And the great thing is that he's coming off an uncharacteristically bad game last week against who were they playing last week? It was the Thursday night game, right?
Yeah,
it was against Wyoming.
Yeah.
And, so against Wyoming, he just had 16 for 54. That's not like him. I expect it to be more like the Colorado game the week before, where he had 24 for 174 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, what is there not to like about Brad Roberts?
That guy's a legend. Great name. I just like it's vanilla. That's a like when I picture an Air Force running back, that's the name I picture. Brad Roberts.
He had a much better game last year in the same matchup where he went 28 for 117 and 1 touchdown.
Oh no, I think he will outperform Haaziq Daniels. I just think I want, like, the Nevada defense is not good. So I want as many pieces of the ground attack at Air Force. And I do expect with Robert's success and also what's the other guy, Eldridge, who I wanted to get, but I didn't have enough money for him. When they go play action, I expect guys to be wide open. So I think Daniels has a shot of throwing a couple touchdowns.
Makes complete sense, buddy. So we got 2 out of 3 similarities so far, but the most expensive running back I have, and I've been arguing all season long that you can't really roster Schrader and the Syracuse running back Sean Tucker. But I did this week. Like Roberts,
I tried to get him, man.
Yeah. Well, I went really, high. I got some running backs and Schrader, high money. So I got some cheaper guys who we'll get to. I had to go bottom of the barrel on a couple guys, but Tucker's in the same boat as Roberts. He had one of the worst games in the last couple of years against Purdue. So I think it's a big bounce back spot for him. I expect him to show up against that UVA defense big time.
Well, and if you saw, he tweeted like they beat Purdue, and he apologized to like Syracuse fans, but for saying that he did not have a good game and he can play better. And I do like that. I wanted to get him. I honestly was like, I got to get him, but I just couldn't find a way to work him in with me grabbing those 2 quarterbacks. So my second highest priced running back, I'm going to take you to El Paso. George Halani.
Ding, 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 buddy. Play that music again.
Oh, man. There we go. What have I told you? He's Boise State's leading wide receiver from a reception standpoint and a yard standpoint and a touchdown standpoint. And he's their starting running back. He has the most attempts on, I know they have Gene T, the backup that's getting some reps, but Halani's got 57 rushes, 186 yards, and a score on the ground. And I kind of think Boise State's gonna whoop UTEP's ass personally.
I agree. And what I love about Holani is that he has back-to-back game with 20 or more carries, and he has 4 catches in both those games. So it seemed like week 1, I think against who did Boise play week 1? Oregon State. They were trying to get a little too cute with that offense, and since then they've used Holani as a workhorse. So they call it air raid, but they're handing the ball off a lot too. So I think he's in store for a big game against UTEP.
I agree. And so I have 1 running back left. You have 2 then, correct?
So I've now mentioned 3 running backs. I have one more to go. So
I'm going to stay in that game. He's a value play to me, even though I am a bit skeptical because Boise State's defensive line that's like the best thing I've seen about Boise State this year is their D line is fucking good. But Ronald Awatt, the starting running back for UTEP, he's undervalued at just 3,500. They have Deion Hankins over him, and he's got more than double the carries. Look at the stat line for Awatt: 52 rushes, 225 yards, and 2 scores. Where Deion Hankins 25 rushes, 79 yards, and 1 score. I don't understand why that the pricing would be different here. And another thing is, Awatt's got more receptions as well and more yards receiving as well. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I have a lot of money to go out and get somebody else. I actually have $1,100 just sitting there. I don't know what I should do. Maybe I'll go in the wide receiver department, but that's my play right now at running back at 3,500.
You're right. I mean, at that price, he does have a lot of value there. I don't think I wanted any parts of this UTEP running game. I think if anything, they're going to be down and probably be forced to pass, but you can't argue with that price tag. You're getting a steal for an RB1, when there's only 6 teams to choose from, you're getting him at 3,500. I like the play.
And I actually think in the first half, I don't expect UTEP to win this game. If anything, I locked up Boise minus the points, but if I am Dana Dimmel, what is the key to UTEP staying in this game? And to me, it's limiting the amount of possessions Boise State gets the ball. So I think they're going to have to try to be slow. They're going to have to try to run the ball, throw screens, stuff like that to keep the clock moving. Because if you keep giving Boise State possessions, you're going to get outgunned in this game.
Sure.
So that's at 3,500. That was my play there. Who's your last running back?
All right, my last running back's 4K. And he is another offense. I don't want a whole lot of pieces, but Nevada's Devontae Lee. He is the second fiddle to Tua, if I'm pronouncing that right. But both guys get touches. Lee is averaging 11 touches per game, and he's also found pay dirt in 3 or 4 games this year. So I think for 4K, I'm getting a cheap punt play here. Maybe he can find that end zone again.
There you go. All right. Well, before we get to our wide receivers, I want to tell you that the College Football Experience Week 4 DFS show and sleeper play episode is brought to you by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by Fubo TV. If you watch football, you need Fubo TV. Fubo TV gives you complete coverage of college and pro football with NFL Red Zone Plus games in 4K at no extra charge. There's over 100 channels of live sports and entertainment for a fraction of the price of cable. You can watch it on all your devices, never miss a game or an episode of your favorite shows because they have the included cloud-based DVR. Plus, there's no contract, there's no commitment. You can cancel at any time. Right now, you can try Fubo TV for free for 7 days and get 15% off your first month. Just go to FuboTV.com/SGP. That's FUBOTV.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by OddsTrader. OddsTrader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare the different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to assure that you get the best deal possible. The app gives you key player stats, key game stats, injury reports, projected game day weather for the bettors out there that make the most informed bets possible. It also has a bet tracker. So you can keep records of all your games and betting activity. So go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. OddsTrader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. All right, let's hop into it with some wideouts here.
I didn't have a whole lot of money for receivers. That's for sure.
Dude, I have 1,100 on sitting there. I'm just wasting.
Wow.
Yeah. But I feel pretty good about my wideouts. And I also feel like they have not valued the wide receiver position correctly, in my opinion.
Well, I would say in general, I mean, this is a weak slate for receivers. I mean, first off, you have Air Force, who doesn't throw the ball at all, really. And then, I mean, UTEP and even Boise, they don't have like a main receiver. So I'm curious as to who you went with. Did you go Gadsden?
No, I did not. I went with Tion Thompson for UVA, because I know Billy Kemp is out. Billy Kemp's one of their better wideouts. So it's going to be a lot of what Tion Thompson, Dontavian Wicks, maybe Lavelle Davis will get in there, but yeah, Thompson's their number one guy. He's the number one target for Brennan Armstrong. 18 catches on the season, 235 yards. He hasn't gotten in the end zone yet, but with him being the number one target, I almost feel like he's due to get in the end zone. So that was my top play at 5,800 there. How about yourself?
I couldn't afford him. So all three of my receivers are below 5.8K. I like Keaton Thompson. I liked him a lot last year when that passing game was humming a lot better. I'm worried about UVA and the ability to give Brennan Armstrong some time in order for his receivers to get open. So I didn't roster him. I couldn't. My top guy, and he might be the best receiver on the slate. He averages the most, averaging 19.3 fantasy points per game, and that is UTEP's Tyron Smith, trying to do his best Jacob Cowing impersonation. He is the lone bright spot on that UTEP offense. You got him too? Boom.
Yep. And I do expect Boise. I told you this. I already revealed my hand. I'm laying the 15.5. As one of my locks. I think Boise's going to fucking destroy UTEP. I don't think UTEP is very good.
So they're going to be passing a lot.
Yes. I think, I know I just said I took the UTEP running back, but I expect their game plan to be in the first half to try to slow the game down. I don't think it's going to be successful.
It probably won't be successful.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think it's going to be successful.
Right.
So then they're going to be firing the ball all around. So yeah, Tyron Smith, 27 catches, 437 yards, kind of filling in for where Jacob Cowing left off when he transferred out to Arizona.
Exactly.
Love that play. So, damn, we have a lot of, how many players does that now that we have in unison there? 3?
Too many.
4?
I think 4.
So tell me your next wideout, because I only have one wideout left.
All right, so I have 2 left. I'm going to go back to a guy you mentioned, UVA's Lavelle Davis for 4.6K. Pretty much all the same reasons you said. Billy Kemp is out. Keaton Thompson's their number one, and Dontavian Hicks is more possession guy. The one thing I like about Lavelle Davis, he's a home run threat, man. He's averaging 25 yards per catch right now, so maybe he can get loose and take one to the house.
I'm quickly looking right here. I do have the money to get Arondé Gadsden over Keaton Thompson.
And Gadsden is coming off a game where he went 6 for 112 and 2 touchdowns. I kind of like Gadsden more, but then I think I do. Yeah,
I think I do mainly because I think Syracuse's defense is good, and I think Virginia's is not.
Right.
So,
and if you got the shredder, it makes sense to stack him up with Gadsden, get double points if they do, connect for a touchdown.
I just pivoted, got Arondé Gadsden, the junior. I still have $500 out there, so there we go. My last wide receiver is, I'm taking you back to El Paso, Texas. I don't understand why Stephon Cobbs is number one as far as price.
Yeah.
Latrell Caples is their top dog, 10 receptions, 93 yards, 2 scores. So from a receiving standpoint, he's their number one receiver. He's also got the most touchdowns on the team. They also have ran a couple reverses to him. I'm going to take Latrell Caples at 5,200.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, for Boise, I wanted to stay away from the passing game because it doesn't seem like anybody's getting consistent targets there, but the matchup makes sense. I can't argue with that. My last guy, it's a punt play. He's only 3.8K, bottom of the barrel. Courtney Jackson for Syracuse. I didn't have the money to get Gadsden, but this guy has caught at least 2 balls each week. So he's been, in the offense. They're looking for you to get him the rock. So I don't know. Courtney Jackson, let's see what he can do against that bad UVA defense.
So then what is our wager then, man?
I think what it is, it's the cheapest running back, Devonta Lee against your guy from UTEP.
Awat.
That's right. I don't feel great about that, man.
I don't feel great about it either, but fuck it. Let's go.
I mean, at least Awat's the number one.
I know, but just Boise State's defensive line is like, I think it's like the easily the best position they have on their team.
Well, it's a pretty fair matchup. I mean, Lee is averaging 12.8 fantasy points per game. Awat 10.8. Lee is what, $500 more expensive. So you would have the money to roster Lee if you wanted to. So that lends itself to a decent side bet, even though I sure as don't feel confident in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. Let's do the bottle of bourbon. I don't feel great about it.
Do it.
I don't have a great feel for this one, but let's go. Let's go.
You're
all
on.
right.
All right.
All we need is one score, one fucking touchdown, and I think we're good. All right. Well, look, before we hop over to our sleeper over under plays, I got to get us paid again. I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by No House Advantage. Yes, No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. You can play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $250,000 in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for corrected picks, and climb up that leaderboard for your shot to win big money every single day. And it's not just NFL. It's NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, NASCAR. Check out No House Advantage. Right, sign up now with the promo code SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app to get the first deposit match up to $25. We're also brought to you by promoguide.us. Yes, if you're interested in the best place to go in plus EV betting strategy, it is promoguide.us. And I got to say, we've been looking at their daily promo updates, and they have some of the most informative in the game. They don't simply tell you what team is probable to win, but they tell you more like where you're going to get the best odds, how to track them down, how to cash in big on constantly changing promotions. So check that out. If you're not already using mathematical models to help you with your picks, you are missing out on an insanely valuable tool. And the best part of it all is that Promo Guy is ran by a small team of passionate sports fans dedicated to building a well-informed, better betting community. So go to promoguide.us and check out their 100% tracked, transparent, and proven method for betting smarter. Make sure you check out promoguide.us. Yes. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper's the fastest growing fantasy platform today with millions of different players. You probably already have a fantasy league on there. I know I do. And this next segment is going to be by Sleeper because they have this brand new over under game where you basically select two anywhere from two to like, I think at college football, they cap you at 5 or 6 where you basically are betting the over or the under on their stat projection, kind of like a parlay. And you can win anywhere from 2 times to 20 times the amount of money you put in. It's really fantastic. So right now on your mobile phone, join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/SGP, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Once again, promo code SGP, sleeper.com/SGP. You get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. We're also brought to you by the Elias Game Plan app. Did you know that the best day of the week is actually Monday, Thursday, and Sunday? Because it's NFL season, our favorite time of year over at the Elias Game Plan app. And whether you're into fantasy leagues or betting on teams or just, I don't know, just talking highlights around the water cooler at work, the NFL season just got a lot better thanks to the Elias Game Plan app, the ultimate sports betting and fantasy companion for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. And if you're wondering what the hell the Elias Game Plan, like, what is that? What is that? It's the only sports app from the most trusted name in sports, the Elias Sports Bureau, the official statisticians of U.S. pro sports leagues. So, I mean, if you hop in and get this app, they have league validated team and player news and stats, head-to-head comparisons of matchups with key Elias game insight. They'll help you, essentially build your fantasy football lineup. They have gambling advice for what games to take. Evaluate your NFL season today and download the Elias Game Plan app. That's ELIAS. And right now I have a special offer for when you do get 15% off your annual subscription, but only if you use the promo code SGPN15. Find the Elias Game Plan sports betting app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and use that promo code SGPN15. We're also brought to you by Run Your Pool. Yes, Run Your Pool VIP is a brand new subscription service from Run Your Pool that helps you get an extra edge against the books, plus exclusive access to real money pools. They got exclusive data that can help you with your weekly game picks. They got premium content, in-depth guides on how to dominate your pools, and they also have exclusive swag. Use the promo code SGPN VIP at runyourpool.com/VIP and get 50% off your first month of Run Your Pool VIP. Once again, that's code SGPN VIP at runyourpool.com/VIP. And then also, last but not least, we're brought to you by Sling TV. Yes, it's college football season, which means you need the unbeatable coverage of Sling TV starting at $35 a month. Sling has all the biggest games on the biggest channels like ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, SEC Network, ACC Network, Fox, and the Big Ten Network, all for the best price. You can stream it on any device, record up to 50 hours with included DVR space. You can pause or change your service at any time. Check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the live TV you love for a price you'll love. Try us today. All right, we are back. It's a lot of ad reads.
That was, man, I almost dozed off.
That's bowling right there. That's
now I really need that iced coffee.
I swear. So sleeper. I mean, folks, I cannot harp this enough. This is awesome because we've always played it with the NFL props. I don't know if you're in a state that allows, betting. I feel like most do now, but even if you're not and you have a book,
not North Carolina, unfortunately, but I can still do this.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is there's a way around it and it's fantastic. So I highly recommend getting the Sleeper app and just the fact they have props now on college players. Fantastic. Oh, yeah. And I think that you can get a great edge there as opposed to NFL where everyone's covering that. So let's hop into it. I'm excited to I think I look at this slate and I see a lot out there that I like.
And this is for the whole weekend. This isn't just Friday. So I have 5 plays for you. I have 5 plays, which I feel pretty good about. I'll do the honors because we just mentioned Oronde Gadsden II, the Syracuse wide receiver. And look, he's a sophomore, 6'5", 216, only caught 2 balls last year, played very sparingly, but his over under as far as receiving yardage is at 48.5. We saw the first 2 weeks of the season, 3 for 36 against Louisville, 3 for 45 against UConn. And then he blew up last week, 6 for 112, 2 touchdowns. You can see that the young receiver coming into his own, he looks like he's by far Garrett Schrader's #1 target. And I'm here to fade the UVA defense. So I'm going to go over 48.5 on Oronde Gadsden II.
I like it. He's on we just mentioned him on the DFS part of this. So, I like it, and how many players do you have on the over under here?
I got 5. I got 5 plays for you.
Okay.
Now you do that what you want. Go all 5, all in. If you want to break it up, do like a Friday one and a Saturday one. It's up to you. But
no, let's go all 5. Let's go all in, and yeah, I think. Oh man, they're killing me with not having the Oregon State running. I'm just looking around right now. I'm getting excited. Just sitting over here, even though I already have a lineup, I'm just like looking at other props that I could be playing here. That's why you got to get in. Check out Sleeper, folks. All right. Well, let me get one more player here because I am building a brand new lineup, my friend. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Brad, this one's easy. This one is fucking easy. Spencer Petras. They think he's going to throw over 162.5 yards against Rutgers defense. Rutgers defense is actually pretty good. It's not happening. It's not happening. Give me the under all day. Give me the under all day on Spencer Petras. He's going to throw for 75. All right.
He struggles to break 100. Struggles to break 100. That's for sure.
Especially on the road. I mean, those other games were in Iowa City. You're going on the road. No, it's not. Rutgers is undefeated. That defense is playing pretty solid ball.
If you want to get fun, go over 1/2 interceptions also, which is always a possibility.
Did I miss that? Did I miss that?
I believe that's in there too.
Over a half. Oh my gosh, this is easy. This is free money. This is free money, folks.
Petras on the road.
Yeah, sign me up for that all fucking day.
That wasn't one of my plays, but I considered both of the ones we just talked about: over the half interception and under the yardage.
Oh, you got to play this. You got to play this.
So for me, moving along, I'm going to keep you in that same Syracuse game right now. I haven't even touched Saturday yet. Over 69.5 rushing yards for the Shredder, Syracuse's quarterback, Garrett Schrader. Like 2 out of 3 games so far, he's cleared that. He had 83 yards against Purdue. He had 94 against Louisville. So only the UConn game where he only had 24 rushing yards. You know what? He didn't need to run the ball. It was a complete blowout. So I think, I mean, as much as I'm fading the UVA defense, this game's going to be tight at least through the first half or 3 quarters. So he is going to need to run the ball, and he should clear that 69.5 pretty easily.
Well, I love quarterbacks that are actually quarterbacks that can actually run the ball, that are actual football players. You know what I mean? And
he's tough too, man. It's not like he's speedy. Like he'll run with some power.
Yeah. Well, look, my next 2 plays are quarterbacks that I think are going to be running. Adrian Martinez, 31.5 rush yards. Sorry. I got to play the over on that. I got to play the over.
Play the music, man. I'm right there with you.
Oh, there we go. Look, Wildcats, their game plan is going to be limit the amount of time Oklahoma has the ball on offense. Adrian Martinez is not a throwing quarterback. Colin Klein's his OC. He knows how to use him. Run the fucking option. Run him as often as you can.
I don't get it, man. Once again, he averages 50 rushing yards per game. He ran for 59 against Tulane, 52 against Mizzou. Here's another game against Oklahoma where he's going to need to run the football. Oklahoma's going to get some pass pressure in there, and he's going to scramble and have to do things with his legs. So, yeah, man, sign me up too.
Yeah. Okay. And then my second quarterback rush total here, JJ McCarthy has barely played. He's an athlete. He's going to start the whole game, I think. Well, at least till the 4th quarter, because I think they're going to whoop Maryland's ass. Over 21.5 rushing yards. It's going to hit. Give me the over on JJ McCarthy. I almost took the over on his passing yards too, but I just don't know when they'll pull him. So give me JJ McCarthy over 21.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's one that's screamed off the page to me as well. I went back and I tried to do a little bit of research to see when he's cleared that, but this year you can't. It's not really fair because Michigan's schedule has been so easy. So he did run for 50 yards against Colorado State week 1, but didn't really need to run much against UConn or Hawaii. So I like to play. Yeah,
get in, people. Let's go. All right, give me your next play.
All right, Devin Neal, Kansas is running back under 70.5. You got to throw out an under too. Everybody likes to go over, right? But
I gave you the Petras under.
That's true. Good point. But Devin Neal, so far he had over 100 against Tennessee Tech on like 8 carries. But just had 42 versus WVU, only 54 rushing yards versus Houston. And I think he's probably the 3rd best runner on his team. But the best runner is the quarterback. And then they also have Daniel Heshaw, who they split, him and Neal split carries almost dead even. So I don't think he hit 70. I think he's probably more in the 50 range. So give me under on Devin Neal's rushing total.
I like it. Okay, my next one is Marvin Harrison Jr. I know Smith and Jigba's back, but I don't think they're gonna just play him a ton. He's gonna be in there, but I just feel like the chemistry Harrison's built up with Stroud, a little more trustable at the moment. Over 82.5 yards. Give me Marvin Harrison Jr. over 82.5 yards.
He's been crushing it so far. That sounds good. Smith and Jigba played a little bit last week. That was kind of get back acclimated, get back into it, play a little bit. I don't see why he's not a full go this week. So it'll be interesting to see who gets most of the catches.
With Wisconsin down 2 defensive backs too.
Yeah.
Come on, get in there.
Jim Leonard's one of the best DCs in the country, but you would think that this Ohio State's passing game is going to get theirs. I didn't pick that one, but I see the play. My last one, a play that I really like here. I'm going to go to Minnesota's tight end, Brevin Spann-Ford, over 29.5 receiving yards. The dude is 6'7", 270. And first off, he averages 42 yards per game. And that was in 3 blowouts where Minnesota didn't even need to pass the ball. Add in the fact that Chris Autman-Bell, their top receivers, now out for the year. I think there's going to be a lot of passes coming Spann-Ford's way against the bad Michigan State pass defense. So there you go.
I like it. Makes a lot of sense. But I think you're missing out on one in Lubbock.
Who did I overlook?
Bijan Robinson over 110 and a half rushing yards.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean,
you're probably right.
This guy's a beast. He's one of the best players in all of college football. I think he's gonna. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he had 200 yards rushing in this game. I guess it matters because Sark does like to air it out, but I just feel like the formula for beating Texas Tech is to be more physical than them. Just run the ball to Bijan Robinson. Give me the over on 110 and a half as my last play.
How many total plays is that? So we had one of the same. That's 9 plays, I think, right?
Yeah.
Man, what if you put all 9 into one? Those odds would be wild. I might have to do that.
Hey, let's go. I mean, which one do you think I'm gonna have to sweat out the most? I think it's either going to be the Harrison or the Robinson one, just because I feel like Sark gets too cute with it sometimes. It throws the ball.
I feel better about Bijan's than Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, but I mean, I still like Harrison Jr.'s too. What was the one before that? Who'd you
McCarthy over 21 and a half rushing yards?
I feel pretty good on all of them.
Yeah, I feel great about him.
What about mine? Is the one I'm going to have to sweat out the Devin Neal under?
I think so, just because when we watched that Kansas, I mean, I've watched every Kansas snap this year. I don't know how Leipold is that good of a coach, but he gets defenses in really, like Houston had a top 10 defense a year ago.
Yeah.
Right. They were shredding the fucking Houston Cougars. I mean, and I know Mike Elko is probably the best defensive mind he's played thus far, but I don't know if Duke has the same roster that Houston does defensively. So you sit there and say, well, man, okay. And it's at Kansas. They were getting large chunks of plays. Now I think you could be right, but I'm saying like,
it's dangerous.
I would expect in that Kansas game, if it's anything like the WVU game and the Houston game, you're going to see some 50, 60, 70-yard touchdowns. You better hope it's not Neal, because he could burn you on one fucking play.
Well, in those 2 games, it wasn't Neal. So hopefully 3rd time's a charm.
There we go. Folks, get the Sleeper app. You got to check it out. This is a ton of fun. Subscribe to the College Football Experience, and remember to check out NC Nick's articles over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Get that SGPN app, and also come play DFS with us. Yes, we tweet these things out from the College Football Experience Twitter account at TCE on SGPN, but also at NC Nicks. So at NC_NICK. Actually, I think it's at NC
double underscore.
Yeah,
double
underscore NICK.
WNBC. Some poor dude who's just NC_Nick. He's been getting bombarded with shit.
Good for that. I mean, come on. Folks, I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. Give us a follow, people. And remember to subscribe to the College Football Experience. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Team previews are coming out over there. It's fantastic as the season tips on November 7th. And check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as well. And remember to subscribe to the College Football Experience and College Basketball Experience. We're together on YouTube as one, youtube.com/the college experience. What else can I promote? NFL gambling podcast, MLB gambling podcast, CFL gambling podcast, as the race to the Grey Cup continues to heat up. Check out all those things. Check out the whole feed. You'll love it all. All right. So, and also come chat it up with us. That's always cool. If you're talking with the fans, it doesn't matter if we're watching the Chattanooga, Illinois game and you think Chattanooga's running back's a beast. Well, come in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Doesn't even matter the sport. You could be talking darts going on in Scotland. All right. I'm sure there's a channel there for it. So check us out there. All right. Till next week, folks. This is the College Football Experience DFS show. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
What the fuck did I do wrong? Thank you. Well, that's a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family. Cool ass bitch, mate.
At the Olympics, doesn't matter who wins because they're all losers.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Free on whip. Does it is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
The best looking man, the best dressed man, long limousine, jet airplanes, custom made clothes, and any woman in the world I want, just like that.
Yeah.